Good morning and welcome to Thursday morning's adapted yoga class. This class is for people with high blood pressure, diabetes, joint problems, but if you haven't got any of those, you can adapt it up to make it a little bit harder for yourself. But with anybody, even if you haven't got any of these symptoms, make sure that even if you feel sick or you feel hot really quickly at any time, that you stop and have a rest. Listen to your own body. It knows you better than I do, so make sure that you're comfortable with whatever you do, that you're okay to do this exercise. So today we're going to start with our chakras. We're dealing with our chakras this week, and I'm going to try and do a little bit of chakras each week. Starting with our 7 chakras that we have in our body, and they're all here for you. You're like a weather person. But I'll probably do 8 because I'll do the ear chakra as well, even though it's not represented on our chakra board. They tend to deal with 7 in yoga. There are 72,000 chakra points all over the body, and they follow the meridian line, which is the same ones that they use when they're doing acupuncture and acupressure. So it's something that's been around for a long time, and it's about different areas of the body working. And for me, I see it as your nervous system. People will probably get on and go, no, it's not your nervous system. But the way my brain works is physical. I come into yoga from a physical, doing gym and coming into it, so I didn't come into it from spiritually. So I'm going the opposite way. I'm working from the base up, basically. So I see it as where the nervous system starts to spread out into different parts. Tomorrow in the breathing, I will go through how the body develops. So I'll talk more about that then, because we only got an hour today. So today we're starting with our base chakra. It's just right down between our legs. It's kind of between the perianal, the lowest part of the spine. It's not on the outside, it's kind of inside, it's right into the middle of the body, so it's quite hard to explain. But if you think about it as the tip of your spine, that's where it kind of starts. This is the base, it's your root lock, it's your root chakra, and it's right down there. And it, as the word root, it grounds you to the floor, it keeps you grounded. So when your ideas are floating off, it's your root chakra that will keep you grounded to the floor. Now the root chakra deals with your legs, your feet, your bowels, your bladder, so anything that has to leave the body, to come out. That's what the root chakra deals with. And it also deals with your basic needs, so your food, shelter, and connection with your family, financial stability as well. So anytime that we feel that we're financially a bit insecure, we'll tend to find that we get pains in our knee, or we can't go to the toilet, or we have our bowels a bit tight, and that tends to be something to do with that. We'll have the same thing if we have problems with our family as well, and usually our parents. We don't come with a book when we're born, and so parents occasionally get it wrong. We feel we've done okay, but sometimes we make mistakes, and it's from the child's perspective, so it's from our perspective of what our parents may not have done for us that we bring back up into later life. And there's ways of dealing with that, which is kind of writing a letter and then burning it, and also gardening and things like that to help with the root chakra. So we're going to start with our root chakra, and this is, we think about it in a colour, so we think about the colour of red, fire, of warmth down here, the start of life. Again, I'll explain tomorrow. And there's a sound and a vibration that goes with it. And we're all vibrating. Every one of us vibrates. If we touch something, we kind of feel it before we touch it most of the time, if you haven't lost sensitivity in your fingers. And there's music that I'm playing today works at a certain different frequency that helps you to relax and to release some vibes in your body. And that's the same with here. And for our root chakra, this is Lam. and then stop it when you run out of breath and breathing it out. It's about balancing, it's about grounding, and so it's all them things that remind us of the root, keeping us grounded to the floor. So we're going to start off sitting down and resting ourselves so that we feel stable. And what I want you to do is, as you're breathing, and we're going to lift our arms up and bring our arms down the same way we normally do. If you want, you don't have to. You can just sit here and then just say the words over and over. So you can either say the sound lamb, lamb, and you can say it loud, or you can say it in your head, or you can say the words I am stable. I am stable. As you're breathing out, I am stable. So either one of those is up to you. Okay? So here we go. One more in and one more out. And bring ourselves back. So, as you see, I stopped saying lamb, but hopefully you kind of felt and heard it going through, and we'll do that again at the end of the session. So we're going to just, while we're seated, we can do our head neck stretches. So we're going to breathe out and bring our chin down. And breathe in, take our head back. Now remember, if you need to, support that neck if you find that it feels too much to take it back on its own. We're doing 4 forward and we're doing 4 backwards. Think about pulling in your pelvic floor, lifting your root lock. And our last one, forwards and backwards. And we're bringing it back to the centre. So we're going to take our head to the side, so we're breathing out, we're breathing in, we're breathing out. arms. And bringing it back up. And we're going to turn and look over the shoulder, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. So, let's bring ourselves out of the chair, but keep it handy if you need to. Try and lift yourself up so you're lifting yourself out without using the chair to bring you to standing. We're just going to do our forward bend, so if you need to, I'm going to keep the chair. Remember, I'm behaving as if I have a bad back or I've got high blood pressure. If you haven't got high blood pressure or a bad back, and you know how to adapt it up, you can do. So we're taking it into a forward bend. We can lift the arms up to shoulder lift height, bend the knees, keeping that back straight, taking the hands down, tuck the chin back. If we can straighten the legs, we do so. But we're keeping that back nice and straight. We don't want it to round. We can bend them elbows, but again we're thinking about how does our blood pressure feel. If it feels like it's going up, we just straighten the arms, we bring the chin back in a bit more. Now we're coming back out, we're going to bend them knees, we're going to lift the arms to shoulder width and bring them down. Well, let's try one more. Lifting the arms to shoulders. Again, the higher you go, the higher your blood pressure raises. Bend the knees, keep the back straight, bring the hands down, tucking the chin in, straighten the legs if you feel you can. If that back starts to go, then keep the knees bent. It's more important to keep that back straight. If you've got a slip disc or bad back or sciatica, anything like that, you don't want to put too much pressure on this lower back, especially if them hamstrings are really tight. So again, we're going to breathe in and we're going to lift our arms back up and bring the hands down. So we're going to take it into a back bend. We're placing our hands on our bum, we're pulling our elbows back. We're breathing in, pushing our hips forward, but keeping our chin tucked in. We don't want our head to throw back. We want to make sure that everything's tucked. We're doing 3 breaths if we can. And you should find that it's easier to breathe into the chest than it is to the back. And then breathe in as you're bringing it back up. Take it back to mountain. So we're going to take it back again. We're taking the hands onto the bum. We're pushing the hips forward. We're letting the shoulders come back. We're tucking that chin in. And then we're bringing it back. Taking the hands back down. So, we're going to take it to the side. Remember, I'm keeping my arms down as if I've got high blood pressure. So we're keeping the arms down. You can always turn them and lift them. We're breathing out. We're reaching down towards the knee. We don't want the shoulder lifting up, we want the shoulders, the other arm to be pulling down, and we don't want to lean forward. We want to make sure that we're going to the side. Feeling the pinch on one side and the stretch on the other. And then we're bringing it back up and we're taking it over to the other side. And you'll feel this through the spine, and it's opening the spine on a diagonal. Again, don't let the head drop. Make sure that you're tucking the chin in, keeping that in line. And then we're bringing it back up and taking it over the other side. And we're bringing it back again. And let's take it down the other side. And bringing it back up. So we're keeping the feet facing forward. So as I mentioned again, making sure that they're in line with your hips. We're keeping the feet forward. We're just going to turn our body, keeping our head in line, so we don't need to look over our shoulders. We're keeping our spine, everything in line. We're just trying to turn from this waist. Again, if you feel you want to lift the arms up above your head, you can. You don't have to. If you wanted to take them out in line with your shoulders, you could. But I'll just bang the door if I do it, so I'll keep my arms out. And then we're bringing it back to centre. And we're taking it around the other side. Trying to move from the waist. Feel it working diagonally through. And you may find that you can breathe diagonally through the lungs. Sounds weird, but it works. Let's bring it back to centre and take it round again. Then don't let your feet roll. You don't want the feet to roll out. Make sure that you're pushing down with the feet. Let's change the camera angle. That one over there. And bring it back and take it around the other side. And bring it back to centre. So, we're going to turn our chair, make sure our chair's on the side, that if we need it, and we're going to work our hips. So we're bringing the weight onto our one leg, lifting the toes, making sure that we're tightening the thighs. Imagine squeezing the legs together, but they're not going anywhere. We're working this area. And then we're bringing the leg forwards and backwards. But we're not letting the hip turn. We're trying to keep it forward and the leg straight. When it goes back, we don't want to bend the knee. So we're not flicking it back. We're keeping the leg straight so that we can stretch and try not to bang the jaw behind. And bringing it down, move the weight. Now you can change the chair, but you don't have to. On this one, you may the next one. So swinging it backwards and forwards. And with this, we'll start to stretch the leg, stretch the thigh. We're working that hip. And again, thinking about being grounded, being solid. Think about that root chakra. So, we're keeping the chair where it is. So we're going to go across the body and out to the side. And again, we don't want to turn the hip. So we don't want to turn our body so that everything's turning. We want to keep the hip nice and straight. And this time you'll feel it pulling just into the waistline. and bringing it down. This time you may need to change it to the other side, otherwise you'll just kick the chair. So again, bringing all the weight onto that standing leg that's closer to the chair. Flex the foot, take it across and out. Now you'd only not do it across the body if you had a replacement hip. You could only come to the body and go away from it, but you couldn't go in front of. And then bring it down. So we're going to stretch them legs. We're taking the foot back, placing the heel on the floor, bending the front knee and stretching. Now don't let the knee bend, make sure that you're pushing the knee towards the ceiling, or you're pushing the leg in. Now keeping the heel on the floor, bend the knee, kind of sit back a little. You'll feel it move a bit further down. And then come back up, come onto your tiptoes and push your toes forward. And then step it in. So we've gone all the way down the foot, through the back. Taking that foot back, moving forward so you can catch what I'm doing on finger. So from there, push the knee at the front towards the chair. Push the back knee towards the ceiling. Push the heel down, shoulders back and down. Hold it here. So we're going to bend that back knee and kind of sit down, keeping that heel down. Feel it move down in towards the ankle. You can move it if you feel it, you need to move it up into your little toe a bit if you're rolling more into your foot. Now we're coming forward and we're coming up onto the tiptoes and we're pushing the heel forward. So that we're stretching the foot. And then bring it back up. Give your legs a little shake. We're going to go into our sun salutation. And again, I'm going to use the chair. If you want to, you can go down to the floor. It's up to you. But I'm staying with the chair. So we're going to start off in mountain pose. And again, I want you to really think about your root chakra. And I really want you to start again either thinking of the sound lamp or I am stable. Okay, so we're taking our feet in line with our hips. We're lifting our toes up, we're engaging our front thighs. We'll feel them knees lift and open. Squeeze the inside thighs together, even though they won't necessarily move. Squeeze the bum and then you'll find the back side comes in and then the side thigh will come in. You should still be able to move them knees, they're not locked. We're pulling in that pelvic floor. We're pulling in that abdominal. We're bringing our shoulders back and down, bringing our hands into prayer. Now they're not touching us, but we're pushing so that we can feel the strength running around the body. Tucking the chin in, close your eyes if you can. If you start to wobble, start at the feet. One muscle is not tight, tighten it back up. And in your head, breath. Every time you're breathing out, I am stable. 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 So here we go. Let's go into our sun sat. Breathing in, lift the arms up, reach back. Breathe out, bend the knees if you need to, bring that hand down into a forward bend. If you can, straighten them legs, but watch that back. Bend the knees, lift up, shoulders back into a half bend. So for some people this might just be the same thing as the forward bend. Step back with that right foot onto your tiptoe, push back. Now if you want, you can come up to the knees, but you're still going into that, onto the tiptoes at the back. Hands back down. Step back onto your tiptoes, then push the heels down, drop the chest into up dog. Sorry, down dog. You'll feel that a lovely stretch through the back. We're coming up onto the tiptoes and we're rolling forward. Shoulders come back, heels push away, squeeze the stomach muscle. Everything you were doing just standing up. We're dropping the hips, the shoulders roll back. We're coming up into our cobra. You don't have to stay here too long. You can push straight back into down dog. From here, you're lifting up that left foot in the air. You're pulling it in towards the chest and then you're stepping it back down. The shoulders come back, you're lifting up. Again, you might be able to lift up to here. Hands come down, we're stepping in, we're bending the knees, taking the head down, thinking about our back, thinking about our blood pressure. Bending the knees, lifting, breathing. Hands can come to the shoulders if you've got blood pressure problems. Breathing out, bringing it down. Here we go again. Breathing in, take the arms wherever you feel you can. Breathe out, take it down. Breathe in, bring it to a half bend. Breathe out, stepping back with that left foot. Breathe in to lift up. Breathe out, stepping back to down dog. Breathing in, coming up onto the tiptoes. Breathing out, coming into plank. Breathing in, dropping down into cobra. Breathing out, back to down dog. Breathe in, lifting the leg all the way up. And breathe out, stepping in. Breathe in and lift. And breathe out, bringing it back in. Breathe in, lift up. And breathe out, bringing it back to child, to prayer. Lovely. So, keep your chair handy. We're going into, for our root chakra, we need to do balances. And balances are the best thing. Loads of them are really good for helping to work on our root chakra. And sometimes we can tell our chakras are out, it's slightly out, when we feel a little unsteady. If we feel pain in our legs. We'll tend to feel that chakra is kind of out of sync. So, we're going to, from here, take ourselves into tree. Now again, we're starting on one leg. We're tightening the muscles up in that leg, squeezing the thighs, squeezing the stomach muscles. We don't have to take the foot off the floor. We can turn the foot out and keep the foot against the ankle and bring our hands into prayer. Tighten everything up, pull the stomach muscles in, and if you're ready, you just let your toe come off the floor. You've always got that chair there for you if you need to hold on to anything. So we're holding it here. Find a spot on the floor. And then we're turning the knee, bringing it down. So let's try the other side. We're bringing it in, we're turning it, we're placing it against the leg. Now you can bring it to the calf. So if I bring my trousers up, it might be easier to see my legs, what's happening with my legs. So you can bring it to here. You don't have to, but if you can get it to there, see me, you know. And you're still pointing that knee out. Tighten everything up. And then bringing it back, taking it back down. Lovely. So we're going to take it up again. Now again, if you find that even standing is too hard, it's too much, you can always do this on the chair. You can bring your foot up to here and have it like this. It's still working that hip. Okay, so either one of those are okay. You don't have to do it standing if you don't want to. We're going to do one more on each side. So again, if you want, you can take it up a little higher. You don't have to. You can hold it while it's there as well. You can bend that knee. You can put your bum against the wall if you want. You can hold onto the chair if you want. It's up to you. You can rest it, but you can't rest it there. It's a bit too hard. No, is that last thing. So, bringing it to wherever you want. Bring your hands into prayer. Find a spot to look at. Push them hands together. Pull them muscles in. And say the words, I am stable. And let's bring it down. And we're going to change sides. So bringing the foot to wherever you want to go. If I shouldn't do it there, I will do it here. Just in case anybody wants to copy me. Don't copy me. And then bringing it back down again. So give your legs a little shake. So we're going to take it into eagle. Now again, eagle you can do on the chair. So if you can't do it standing, sit yourself down and you're going to cross the legs over. From there you can always try and hook the leg around. And you can stay on here and keep it on here. You don't have to do it standing up. I am going to do it standing up, but I'm going to take the hook around the leg out so that we can balance. So, we'll start with our upper body. It's easier to start that way. You start with your right elbow over your left elbow. And you're bringing them up. Now, you're going to keep your bottom hand facing you. And you're going to turn your top hand away from you. So it waves at the television. Then you're going to make a fist with both hands. But your bottom hand, you're going to have your thumb out. And your top hand, you're going to have your little finger out. And then you're bringing... Oh, wrong way around, sorry. Take no notice. So, you turn your bottom hand to wave and your top hand to wave in the opposite direction, to wave at your face. You're bringing them together and the little finger and the thumb touches and then you're trying to bring them together. Now again, that might not go, and if it doesn't, don't worry about it. What you want is your elbow to be on top. You don't want to be sort of here. So if the elbow isn't on top, then pull it so that it's out of the line of the body, and then you're going to push it up from there. Okay, so you've got two choices. I'm going to stay most people can kind of get into that, so I'm going to stay there. Okay. Now, the legs, we can say undo the arms while we're doing the legs. We're going to imagine that we're sitting down into our imaginary chair, and we're going to cross our left leg over the top of our right leg. And we're kind of squatting down a little. Now you're keeping the foot on the floor. You can lift it if you feel you want to, but it's always there if you want to put it back down. You've got 2 feet. Again, if you want, you can try and get it all the way around, but that isn't needed. I'm not going to do it, but you can if you want to. So, whatever leg goes over the top, it's the opposite goes over the top. So we're kind of twisting the whole body. So we're going to sit ourselves down into our imaginary chair. We're going to bring our right leg over the top of our left leg and keep our foot on the floor. We're going to bring our left elbow over the top of our right elbow and bring our hands round to wherever they can go. We're going to sit down into our bum, but we're going to push up with our arms. And now we're going to imagine that we're going to push our right arm towards the right and our left arm towards the left at the same time as pushing down with our bum to sit down. We're lifting them arms, but we're trying to push them apart at the same time as keep them together. And then bring it back up, bring the arms down, undo the arms, undo the legs. So let's try the other side. So sit down, our left foot goes over, our right arm goes over, we're sitting our bum down, we're pushing our arms up, but we're trying to push the left to the left and the right to the right of our arms, and we're trying to push down with our bum but up with our arms, so everything's going in the opposite direction. This you'll feel into the shoulders, you'll feel into the back, you'll feel into the arms. It's a great opener. As you feel that it's crushing your root there. And then bringing it up, bringing it down. Let's undo. Let's try one more. Sitting back, crossing it over. So the right's on top, it's the left that's on top. Lifting up, pushing down. Pushing against each other. If you want, lift that foot. I am stable. And then lifting, undoing. Let's try the other side. Undo. Lovely. Give yourself a little shake. So we're going to take it down into Warrior 3. Now we may need our chair again. So from here we're going to have our hand on the back of our chair. We're walking away so that we're coming forward. From here we're going to see if we can lift our right leg off the floor. Trying to pull our stomach muscles in, keep our hips straight. Then if it's our right leg off the floor, we're going to lift our left arm and stretch out. So we're into Warrior 3. Make sure that you're not locking that leg, that you're tightening the legs up, but you're not straight, locking them out. And then if we bring our hand down and bring our foot down. Again, if you feel you need to, you can always come up and give yourself a little stretch back. So let's take ourselves back again. That we're coming down. We're lifting our other foot up. Oh, don't do that one. No. So it's opposite hands come up. Done that leg, haven't I? So pulling everything in, trying to get everything as tight as possible. Now don't worry if you can't lift the arm. Just doing the leg will be fine. So coming up. And let's do one more each side. So coming down, lifting the leg, lifting the arm. And let's change. So we're going to stay here. And we're just going to change that leg. So lifting the leg up, lifting the arm up. Looking towards the floor. I am stable, trying to lift them arms, that leg a little higher. And bring it down. Walk yourself. So we're going to take it into a forward bend from here. We're having our hands on our hips. We're going to pull our chest and our shoulders back. Our legs are in line with our hips. We're tightening up all the leg, pulling in that pelvic floor. From here, we're keeping our hands on our hips and we're going forward. We're keeping this back nice and straight. It doesn't matter if that's as far as you can go. I want to work the backs of them legs. So we're not locking the legs out, but we're keeping them nice and straight. Now the minute you start to feel that back going, you stop wherever you are. So even if it's here, it doesn't matter. As long as that back stays nice and straight and you can feel the stretch right through there. Again, with blood pressure, you may find that you want to only go to about here, so that the heart and the head is in line, so that the blood pressure doesn't rise. You may find you can go further if you want to, as long again as that back is straight and you feel okay. Now to come out, you're bending the knees and lifting up. So let's try one more. Pull the shoulders back. Breathe out, move from the hips. It's not about getting the hands down to the floor or the head down to the floor. It's about keeping the back straight, about feeling the stretch right through the body. The spine can be pulled down towards the floor. And then breathing in, bend them knees, lift up, push back. So we're going to work that back a little bit more. We're going to go into chair. Now, chair is chair. If you have the chair behind you, you're going to basically sit down into your chair. But we're going to come out and stand up out of the chair. So we've got our legs in line with our knees, with our feet, and they're slightly back. We're pulling our stomach in. We're leaning forward and we're sitting just here. Now you can have the hands here, tuck the chin in, and you're just above that chair. Now if you want, you can sit back down. Okay? So we're going to raise the arms a little bit higher. We're going to take them out in line with the shoulders where they were. Or you can leave them here if you want. So again, we're taking the arms out. It helps us to get up. We're leaning forward. We're lifting. We're holding it there. The shoulders pull down. The chin tucks in. We're rolling back onto the heels of the feet. Pulling that pelvic floor. Pulling that abdominal muscle. So we're going to sit down. And we're going to do one more of them because the first one was just an example. If you did it with me. So here we go. Remember that hands can be here. Shoulders out. Lean forward. Lift. Hold it. Pulling that pelvic floor. Shoulders down. Chin tucked in. Squeeze the stomach muscles. Breathe. And then we're going to sit back down. Lovely. So we're going to stay on our chair. And we're going to stay kind of, no, we're going to take it. So you're going to bring yourself so that you're back towards the back of your chair as far as you can go. You're going to bring, now again, if you can't do this, you can always bring your foot onto the floor, place it on a block. So it's on a block and the little toes go into the floor so the knee drops out. So that is the easiest version of what we're going to do. If you can, you're trying to bring it up and place it on the chair so that your foot's still on the floor, it just moved out a bit, but your foot's flat here and that knee can drop down a little bit. Just got a drink, sorry, it's very warm. Now you don't want to slide down the chair, you want to make sure that you're sitting up nice and straight. From here, you're going to twist round towards the leg. So we're going to take our hand round onto the knee, we're going to take it onto the chair, and we're going to have a look over the back. And we're bringing it back to the centre. So from here, keeping our back nice and straight, we can rest our hands on our knees and we're just going to lean forward. We'll feel this stretching into our leg, into our knee, and only go as far as you feel comfortable. And then we're going to bring it back up. So we're going to take that foot down. I'm going to try the other side. So we're bringing the foot out to the thing, and again, I'll do it from here just to show the same thing. So I'm keeping it down on the floor. We're taking the hand round, taking the hand to the back, stretch ourselves up, have a look over the shoulder. And make sure that leg's dropping out to the side. Then we're bringing ourselves round. We're resting our hands on our knees. We're bending forward. And then we're coming back up. one more time on each side. So bringing the leg up, nice and straight, twist around, look over the shoulder. Bring it back to centre, leaning forward. If you feel you want to, you can always bring them hands down to the floor or onto a block. And then bringing them back to the knees and help the body come back up. And let's try the other side. Again, nice and straight. Turn yourself, have a look over the back. You feel this pulling right through the shoulders. It's quite nice at the lower back as well. So it's a diagonal through the back. But again, think about your root lock, pull that in. And bringing it back to the front, hands onto the knees, breathing out, leaning forward. Stay as far as you can go, bring the hands down if you want to. Hands back to the knees, bringing yourself back up. Lovely. Take that foot down. So, we're going to relax down, so we're staying in our chair, so that we're not up and down, up and down, up and down. Again, we're thinking about our root chakra. Now again, it's a lot of this stuff, like I said, it's to do with our parents and our family. And the thing is, with friends, we get time to cultivate, to learn, to meet them, to talk, have lots of teas and coffees and chats to form friendships. But with family, they're kind of just dumped on us. And we don't get a choice of who our brother and sister are, who our cousins are. We don't get that choice. So, unfortunately, we can't change them. So what we've got to do is to notice when one of our family causes some kind of irritation. And like I said, it'll kind of be somewhere around here, legs, knees, feet, bowel, bladder. Something will happen around when we, and so it's learning to focus and realising, that happens when that person phones me. And knowing that, then you can work on that, because sometimes it's not, you can't change them, you can only work on yourself. So being able to appreciate the fact that yes, they cause this problem in you, you didn't choose them, but you've got to live with them. It helps you to kind of like, okay, I'll learn to live with them, I'll learn to deal with them. So being silent, being a bit sort of thinking about this area, and the body scans that we did last week are really good to help us to understand what happens in our body. So, we're going to sit down and do our visualization. You're sitting back, letting your hands relax. If you can, again, pull in your pelvic floor, but not your abdominal, let that relax. Just pull in the pelvic floor. Bring your mind down to here. Bring your mind to a red colour, or warming into the base of your spine, right to the middle of your body. So closing your eyes and let your breath relax. Breathe in through the nose or out through the nose or the mouth. It's completely up to you. But I want you to start using a bit of visualization. So I want you to imagine that these silver threads are just lifting out of the floor, and the silver threads are surrounding your ankles, and your feet are coming into your toes, and each toe, and then pulling the toes down to the floor and securing them down. And they come up towards the knees, and they circle the knees. And these silver threads round the knees down. The silver threads come round the hips, and they ground the hips down. The silver threads come and they entwine themselves through the vertebrae. And where the vertebrae touches the floor or the chair, it's as if it grounds it and ties it down. The silver threads fall into the shoulders and ground to the floor as if the shoulders are being pulled down. And through the elbows and into the wrists. And if the hands want to drop down and feel as if they're being pulled, the fingers are stretching down, and these silver threads are just taking into each finger, pulling each finger towards the floor. The shoulder blades are being pulled by these silver threads. And the head and the chin. And we feel the majority of our bones being pulled down. And the skull being secured upwards to the wall. I want you to feel everything grounding down. The whole body feel as if the ground is securing us. It's stopping our body from floating away. The muscles feel light and feel as if they're made of helium. It's as if the body wants to just float, but no, everything's secured down. Even though the thighs and the hips want to just float, face muscles feel as if they're being pulled into the air. The chest feels as it wants to rise. Everything is being held down. And feel that security, that grounding. Enjoy that the earth will take care of you and support you. And let all the troubles, all the pain that are in your body, let them float away. Let all the stresses that come into your head, as they come in, they're filled with helium and they're floated up. The body's still held down. Start to wiggle our fingers and we're breaking them silver threads. Breaking them, but we're still feeling that grounding, but we feel we can move, and we're snapping them through the ankles and through the knees, through the spine. We're stretching up and we're breathing in out through the mouth, we're breathing out. And we want to continue holding that nice feeling of grounding throughout the day. And anytime we feel as if we're a bit floaty, we need that grounding.